and Joss Whedon, an incredible screenwriter, joke writer, and storyteller.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Superhero Asylum channel. I know I'm late on this news, but yesterday on Martin Luther King Day, Variety released an article about Joss Whedon. I haven't actually read this article, but I have seen people react to it. This is my first time. But then again, he has had a long history of being abusive. It is reported that the cast members had to make a rule that said that Joss Whedon couldn't be allowed in another room alone with another person. And I believe at the time Michelle was about 15-16-year-old, so he wasn't allowed to be in a room alone with Michelle, and obviously she was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Filmmaker Joss Whedon broke his silence in multiple allegations of misconduct against him from production he oversaw, including 2017 film Justice League and his influential TV series Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Whedon denied Gal Gadot's allegations that he threatened her career while working on Justice League, which Whedon took over after Zack Snyder withdrew from the film. What is the craziest part is that even after Zack Snyder had to step down from Justice League due to a family tragedy, Joss Whedon rewrote his movie and absolutely massacred his movie, and then when it was released in theaters, it was credited to Zack Snyder even though he had nothing to do with that release. So here he says, "I don't threaten people. Who does that? English is not her first language and I tend to be annoyingly flurry in my speech." Whedon said he told Gadot that she would have to tie his body to a railroad track before he would cut a scene she wanted removed, and that Gadot misunderstood as Whedon threatening to tie her to a track instead. Gadot's response in the story, "I understood perfectly." So what I'm understanding from this is that Joss Whedon wouldn't back down to Gal Gadot, who wanted maybe a scene removed, but he didn't want to do it, and she misunderstood it as him threatening her with cutting her scenes if he didn't do what she wanted him to do. And here he is on full blast against Ray Fisher. Whedon is less forgiving in his assessment of Ray Fisher. So the actor's July 2020 allegation that Whedon's behavior making Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional and completely unacceptable was the spark that led to the collapse of Whedon's career, which is only a good thing. Fisher also alleged in a Forbes interview from October that he was told Whedon had lightened an actor of color's complexion in Justice League because he didn't like the skin tone, which Forbes later retracted. Why did they retract that? In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter published April 2021 after the release of Snyder's 4-hour cut of Justice League on HBO Max, Fisher alleged that when he tried to express his concerns about the reduction of his character Cyborg in Whedon's 2-hour version of the movie, Whedon told him, "It feels like I'm taking notes right now, and I don't like taking notes from anybody, not even the powerful Robert Downey Jr. Okay, it doesn't actually say powerful. So this is actually the interesting thing. To New York, Whedon says he had brightened the entire movie including all the actors' faces, and that he talked with Fisher for hours about these changes. He says he significantly cut down Fisher's screen time because Cyborg's storyline logically made no sense. And this is so stupid. If you have seen the Snyder Cut, you know that it's just absolutely not true. So most of the scenes from Zack Snyder's Justice League weren't reshoots. So that means he cut a perfectly logical and good story about Cyborg just because he wanted to, and not because it logically made no sense. And that Fisher's performance was lacking. Again, if you have seen the Snyder Cut, you know that that's not true. He denied Fisher's allegations, saying none were true or merit discussing. Instead, Whedon claimed that Fisher's actions were done in a bad faith, meant to sully Whedon's reputation to reconstitute Snyder's in advance of the release of the Snyder Cut. You know what kind of person you are, Whedon. We are talking about a malevolent force, Whedon said. We are talking about a bad actor in both senses. This is just crazy to me. Absolutely crazy that he says this. But this is what I love. This is what I love about Ray Fisher. He had the absolute perfect response. Looks like Joss Whedon got to direct an endgame after all. Rather than address all of the lies and buffoonery today, I will be celebrating the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Tomorrow, the work continues. Accountability over entertainment. So, if you don't know, so Kevin Feige booted Joss Whedon off of the rest of the Avengers movies, so he didn't get to direct Infinity War and Endgame, and obviously he kicked off the Infinity Saga. Joss Whedon kicked off the Infinity Saga, and he didn't get to end it because he got booted from the MCU by Kevin Feige, so he must have sensed that something was there. So here are other actors that accuse Joss Whedon of being a horrible person, which includes Charisma Carpenter's allegation that Whedon was casually cruel to her while making Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the spin-off series Angels, including calling her fat after she became pregnant and asking her if she was going to keep it. I mean, he calls himself a feminist as well, man. Several other actors from those shows, including Sarah Michelle Gellar, David, I'm not gonna even attempt to pronounce his name, but it's right there, and Eliza Dushku, expressed support for Carpenter's, and a subsequent investigation by Variety backed their story. Multiple people who worked on both shows said Whedon created a cult of personality and that he behaved with scorn and disparagement to employees who displeased him. A person with direct knowledge of production on Buffy corroborated to Variety. Michelle, again, we talked about her already, claimed that on Instagram that there was a rule she could not be alone with Whedon. I mean, how can you defend Whedon after this? She was 15, 16 at the time, and he was not allowed to be in the same room with her. I mean, that's all you need to know. But then again, it is Hollywood, and Hollywood is famous for these kind of people. And here again, Whedon told New York that he was not mannerly with Carpenter when she told him she was pregnant, but he denied ever calling her fat, so he was rude to her. He doesn't even deny it here. He doesn't even deny it. How can you defend this man? I don't understand how you can defend this man. And he of course denies Michelle's allegations. He says he had no idea what she was talking about. And if you think that Twitter is toxic, just read these comments. Obviously I'm not gonna read them out to you because we have other things to do, but if you wanna read this article for yourself, it is on Variety. You can easily find it. It is most popular right now. I just want to backtrack to what Whedon said, that including cyborg scenes made no logical sense. Written and directed by Joss Whedon. And here is Gal Gadot's statement. I understood perfectly. I will never work with him and will never suggest any of my peers to work with him in the future. And of course this, Whedon, I cut out Cyborg's story because Ray Fisher's acting was bad and it made no logical sense. And Ray Fisher, I don't praise Chris Terrio and Zack Snyder for simply putting me in Justice League. I praise them for empowering me, a black man with no film credit to his name, with a seat at the creative table and input on framing of the stones before there was even a script. Hashtag BorgLife. Zack Snyder in replies, you Ray are the heart of my movie. So yeah, what Joss Whedon said makes absolutely no sense. So I want to end on two things. It's that the Moon Knight official poster has been released. Original series March 30th, only on Disney Plus. So this is gonna come out right after the Batman, about a month after the Batman has hit theaters, and we're getting two Batman in a month. And I want to end on this epic news. DC Trinity, Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman, Museum Lime statue by Queen Studios. So these statues look absolutely insane. I mean, absolutely insanity. So yeah, that was everything I had for you today. Hopefully this video doesn't turn out to be 36 minutes long. Hopefully I can cut some of it down. But yeah, if you hate Joss Whedon just as much as I do and think he should be boycotted from Hollywood, give this video a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you later.